gotta do this. Extreme! 1980s bike commercial. Hey, we're gonna do, first we're gonna start off with a little walk down memory lane. This is Paul of Paul Component for a second. Oh, and this was their mountain goat. This is where all the mountain goats used to be built, behind this door. And I'm here with an 84 mountain goat. I didn't start working there till 88. This one's on loan from John Watson, but okay, memory lane. So this jacket, this Dickies, cotton, canvas, felt. So I got this is my second one. I got my first one right after I got probably second or third paycheck from working at Mountain Goat. Yeah, Chico was not quite as mild as I was used to growing up in the Bay Area and then living in Sacramento. So that coat lasted me 20 years. This one I bought about right after that, and this is about 15 years old, and it's hanging in there. But there's pictures of me grinding fillets in a coat like this. Anyways, so this is an 84. We came here, it's on loan from John Watson, little thing called the Radavist. Maybe you've heard of it, that he does. But this is a beauty. This has got the factory Mountain Goat colors. It's also got a Mountain Goat fork crown, which there weren't a lot, but it was way ahead of its time, the sport crown. Really amazing. This thing's like pretty correct. So we're gonna take you on a little journey with it today, so come on along.
Maybe I should do this.
Get really uncomfortable. Hey, we're in Poland Cyclery, who made the very first purchase of Paul Component parts, and also has an amazing collection of bikes. And it's an amazing bike shop. This is Steve O'Brien. We've known each other a very long time. Also, at one point, this had the best happy hour in town.
Yeah. Everybody got married and stuff, and now we have to go home.
Yeah, everybody got old, except for us two. But what we have here is Mountain Goat number 2.
Mountain Goat Deluxe number 2.
Mountain Goat Deluxe number 2. We have the 30th Salsa over there. We have some Campy 180 cranks that are anodized black from the factory. Extremely rare on that. Who made that bike? Some Tom guy. Tom something. Fisher.
He's down above Palo Alto somewhere.
Not Fisher. It's that other guy. Oh, Richie. I heard of him.
And look, there's your first product you sold, the quick releases on my tandem.
There it is. There they are. Yes, that makes me so happy. That's so cool. See quick releases. This is a Mountain Goat that was made in 1984. Were you were hanging out with Jeff Lindsay? When did you open this? You opened the shop in 84.
I bought it
right?
January 1st, 84, so I'm going to hit 40 years January 1st.
Oh, man.
Obviously, I haven't learned anything because I'm still doing it.
Congratulations.
I worked for Lindsay right at the cusp of the 80s. I started working at the bike shop in 79 again. I'd worked there in high school. And I went to Jeff's and asked him to build me a road bike. And he had enough materials to build me a road bike. And while he was building the road bike, I sold 2 more.
Oh.
And so he quit working for Orient Flume. He was like the fabrication guy at Orient Flume, which is an art glass facility.
The art, yes.
And I told him I found that interesting that you do glass. And he goes, no, it's metal. It's all metal. And I hadn't really thought about that. And glass is metal, according to Jeff Lindsay.
Well, you heat it up and move it around.
Yeah. And so he quit Orient Flume and went into the bike business. And he and I went on a mountain bike ride in Upper Park, and he built the first Mountain Goat, which is a lugged round tube bike, which is still in town, belongs to a guy named Joe Silvera.
All right.
And the first iteration of it had Adam drum brakes.
So you dorks, go look up Jim somebody in
Joe
Chico.
Silvera.
Joe.
And he had it
Little
redone,
tidbit
and
there.
now it's got cantilevers and yeah.
Well.
But it had Adam drum brakes when it was new, which those aren't that cool. We went to the
that
bike
was
show.
the thing, though, back then.
We went to the bike show in January of '81, and there were 6 mountain bikes on display, and aerodynamic bikes were the thing.
Yeah.
And so Jeff got this
Shimano
tubing from
Sante.
Phil Wood, which are the boob tubes for a tandem. And Jeff made these bikes to kind of acknowledge the aerodynamic tubes that were on the bikes, which were going to save the industry. The aerodynamic bikes were going to save the industry, and meanwhile,
Group sets, everything.
Yeah.
Aero.
So meanwhile,
It's a Shimano Aero.
over in another booth was Fisher. In Fisher's booth was Fisher, Ritchie, Charlie Cunningham, Joe Breeze, and we had a meeting and we set standards for mountain bikes. And Fisher went out and printed them and handed them out to all the major manufacturers. And so what took off was not aero bikes; it was mountain bikes.
That's wow. I've never heard that story.
Oh yeah, true story.
That is a good one.
Yeah, and so
That's
I've been
like the beginning right there.
Well, it was really excellent. I find that the e-bike guys could do themselves a favor by sitting down over a beer at the next bike show and discussing what they could make standard, because it would make that industry really blow up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't work on e-bikes because I don't like them. I'll probably get one when I'm in my 80s, I'm thinking. But
I'm looking at the market.
and they need to do themselves a favor and decide what can be shared between manufacturers, because it would really improve the saleability and repairability of the bikes. That's
agree.
my overview on the bike biz.
Probably.
Too much specialization, too much proprietary crap, not serviceable, not supported,
You
not
know what
good.
that is? That's too many engineers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now these,
Yeah.
this is a scapegoat,
I
or it's
believe-
Whiskey Town Racer.
It's a Whiskey Town Racer, yeah.
These were painted to match the California Division of Forestry S2 tracker planes at the time. They painted them this color for
That's
visibility.
another thing I didn't know.
And that's why they are this color.
That
because
is so. And we have a World War II airport here, which has got a really long runway, and the Sierras are like right behind me, about 20 miles. So we get a lot of fire people based out of here, a lot of
Yeah.
fire bombers. They also get built in Chico, a lot of the fire bombers, but that ties right in.
Yeah. So Jeff made those. Jeff made Camouflage, which was a big seller. And he even painted them like a English Spitfire.
Nice. Yeah.
Camouflage on top, and on the bottom was sky blue. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then he candled a lot of bikes to make them look smoky. And he did that with a carburizing flame on his torch and then clear coated it. I
Wow.
showed him how to do that because I made a lot of model airplanes in my day, and we'd make the exhaust and we'd make the black soot from the gun ports by
Yeah.
getting some soot and then spreading it with your fingers. And I showed Jeff how to do that
That's an
because, you know,
awesome technique.
the Swiss bikes, Allegros and stuff, smoked their bikes, had that smoke finish. And then Lindsay did it, and then all the major companies did it because it was a thing.
When did Russ Pickett start? We don't have any Russ Pickett paint
don't.
jobs here, it looks like. But
I don't know.
I think I started 88, and I think he was there. He was there, so he's like 86 or something, 84, but 85.
Yeah.
But
And he's retired now.
he is, and he gave me a pile of warranty frames, which mostly I have still.
Give you any stickers?
No,
Yeah.
I don't have any stickers. No, this thing needs some stickers.
So I got this bike,
This right here.
took it to a club ride. Everybody laughed at me because they thought it was pretty stupid. You'll notice the black paint on the seat stays. Jim Blackburn sent us two of his brand new Expedition racks, and Jeff and I were going to go on a bike packing trip. And so he had a couple of his famous not drill braze-on tabs for the rack braze-ons.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff had a thing about drilling frames. And so these little threaded tabs are just brazed on there. We had those
They're-
on my seat stays.
Yeah, they're actually nuts that are brazed on. They're round.
Yeah.
They're not hex. They're just nuts, but the bolt does not go into the
Bolts
tube.
about this long.
So easy to. So what happened?
So a couple nights before we're going to go on this trip, the Blackburn rack didn't line up with the rack the rack braze-ons that Lindsay had done. So we put different rack braze-ons on, and I just shaker can painted it. That's why it's black back there.
Gotcha.
And we did
Yeah.
the Hogsback Heaven ride, which is from Red Bluff to Paynes Creek, Ponderosa Way, Antelope Creek, Mill
Oh,
Creek.
man.
It's a 2 days, 114 miles and
Never-
14,000 feet of climbing.
Done that. That sounds so awesome.
Pretty epic.
Yeah,
And
that's right in our backyard. That's right north of this same base of the Sierras kind of thing.
And at the time, I was way ahead of my time because I just had a double chain ring on here because I wanted to use a Campagnola derailleur.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a 45-30 on there. And I climbed everything with a 30 and
Nice.
maybe a 32 on the back. I can't recall.
Yeah, that's not like a 2852 setup that I've got on a lot of my bikes, but you know,
That's ahead of my time.
yeah, it's pretty respectable.
And old
Yeah, I
Sun
couldn't
Tour
climb on that
shifters.
thing.
And the old Mayfac cantilevers were such crap, you had to get Mergura motorcycle levers, which a lot of mountain biker guys used. And then like Specialized used Tomaselli's, but just massive pulling power simply to crush the rims because the brake pads were crap.
Yeah, and that the whole brake thing is, we've now learned, not the best.
So you use motorcycle cables
Mm-hmm.
and massive levers, and you just kind of force the brakes to make you slow down.
That stuff was all happening when I was still in college, and I remember going to a shop sort of in Auburn on 50 that had like a motorcycle cable kit specially made with ends for bike brakes, and that was the hottest ticket.
That wasn't Gordon Bonser's shop, was it?
Could have been.
Backcountry Bicycles?
Yes, that was
Real
it.
interesting character. Yeah,
Yes.
he was a good guy. That's
And,
where I stole the
so-
slogan "Descend with Conviction" from him.
Ah, yeah, and real early WTB hubs, like they were on board with all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he and I were both top 10 Fisher mountain bike dealers in the world. And
Wow.
he had this little shop out in the woods, and I had this joint. And we had total support from Gary Fisher, which was very handy.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah. I think it's time to wrap it up. Thank you, Steve.
you're welcome. Thanks for coming by and look around. There's lots of interesting stuff here.
Lots of cool stuff at Pullen Cyclery, 810?
801 Main Street.
801 Main, Chico, California.
Do I need to say anything about the bike?
Yeah.
Like what? It's me, Patrick from Paul Component Engineering. I'm out here with this, can I say that? Mountain Goat, made here in Chico. It's a Whiskey Town racer. We just heard from Steve O'Brien at Poland's and Paul Price from Paul Component Engineering about some of its history. I'm out here test riding it. She shreds the gnar. It's pretty good. You know, I did everything the guy behind the camera did, and he's got like a newer bike, so you know. These have 26-inch wheels. You ever heard of this? They're pretty sweet. Anywho, yeah, it does ride like an older bike. Brake pads are actually really dry, so they don't stop too good. But you know, it goes up and down and around the corner. And we're also, we're in Booble Park. This is where bikes were born. This is where bikes come to mate. Anywho, it's Patrick here, Paul Component, another moment with me, and we'll see you beautiful rainbow people on the next one.
So yeah, this thing rides pretty good. I've ridden, you know, a lot of bikes from this era and a lot of newer bikes, and you get on an old bike after being used to a new bike, and it's pretty weird. But this is okay, probably because I've been on a Ritchie roadish bike lately, and this is probably has a 69 to 70 degree head tube angle. It's not like 64 1/3 or something wacky like that, if you're into that kind of thing, which is also kind of fun. The shifting, way better now. The shifting, the drivetrain, way better. Of course, these people were pioneers. We were all back then. I was in the tail end. I was not a pioneer in this sense of the term at all, but you know, I've ridden a lot of friction, and man, shifting works really good now. Also, 26-inch wheels. Should have known from the very beginning, but that's what was available. But yeah, this thing is cool. This would be fun to do a tour. I think on the coast, from a bed and breakfast to a secluded beach, spend a night, bring some bottle of champagne, maybe some mushrooms, and You know, like then do like a 3-hour ride from your Airbnb that's just inland from the coast. I think that's what I'm talking about. So you're looking for a bike to do that, you should get on eBay and find one of these. It's gonna be great. Hey, this is, today we're gonna start over again.
And we're taking this guy for a little hey, got it. Get in there. Words coming out of my mouth. Anyhow, probably not as good as the first take, but there's some B-roll for you. I'm gonna go right over there and I'll ride it back. These are Paul's gloves and helmet. I was just kind of along for the ride, you know. Life's a ride. Grab it by the handlebars. Moments in time with Pat.
Never introduced yourself.
I'm Patrick. Flutterby.